Ooh, those were good claps. Gamers, ya boy did it. Obviously, guys on Twitch, you already know. Guys on YouTube, and girls, of course. I just won about 30 minutes ago. Or no, an hour ago. I won Golden League 2. Let's go, baby! That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. The second S-tier tournament. These are the playoffs. Spoilers if you haven't watched. It is what it is. Lucifron, Vortex, MarineLord, and I qualified for the playoffs. It was top 4 go to the playoffs from the 3 rounds of Golden League. I barely managed to squeeze in at the end in the last round. Lucifron was the number 1 seed. MarineLord was number 2. I was number 3. And Vortex was seed number 4. Today, we're going to be going over MarineLord versus me. And then in the next video, I'm gonna go through Lucifron versus me in the grand finals that, like I said, just happened an hour ago. So, with that being said, let's get into it. This is the replay, the game analysis with your chimp. So, I am still sick. For you guys that are watching on Twitch or YouTube, and maybe you don't know, I've been having bronchitis for the past 8 days and didn't get a lot of practice or at least I didn't get as much practice as I wanted to. I maybe played 5, sometimes like one day I played 6 hours because I was coughing a lot, to the point where I couldn't sleep late at night because I would be coughing for 2 hours straight. I spent a lot of time thinking about the game, and that was kind of like, I guess, a way to practice for me. I was like, if I can't play, if I don't feel well, because I had fever, I had headaches, I had, body pain. So going into the playoffs on the weekend, I wasn't sure how I'll perform. Like, I felt like I'm playing well when I'm feeling well, but I kind of have been getting like worse and worse. I'm on like my 2nd round of medicine, so hopefully soon we'll be good to go. Anyway, game number 1 was on Dry River, and I was thinking about which Civ MarineLord will go for, and I thought he would pick either China, which he's played before a lot, Ottoman, or English. I thought those are the 3 civs he wanted to go for. And because the first map is hybrid, it's always a bit of a gamble what to play, because certain civs counter certain civs on water maps or on hybrid maps. So what I decided to do is try to find a civ that would do good against the 3 civs that I mentioned. So I figured, why not go for HRE? If I played HRE against English or China, I would feel pretty comfortable. And if I played against Ottoman, I was gonna need a special plan. So this was the special plan going into the game, because I had about 20 minutes before the first game started to think about what I'm going to do. So my thought process was, I'm gonna get the sheep like I just did, and then I'm going to scout immediately for the opposing side for docks. Now there were 2 options. If I saw a dock, my next goal is to see if he's making a barracks. If he's making a barracks, I do not fight in Dark Age. This is what you do on hybrid maps. You always fight in Dark Age. You both make a barracks and you fight over docks. And I said, okay, I'm not gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skip on fishing ships completely and go feudal immediately into archers, because I can age up his HRE a lot quicker than he can. So, and if he was going for barracks immediately, I would stop making fishing ships as well at the like immediately, and I would go into age up. And the plan was to get a 2nd TC from the start. So why 2nd TC? So I felt that even if he goes barracks here, attacks the dock, I age up and I lose the dock, I felt that if I don't lose the fishing ships and I get a 2nd TC and then I get the dock back up, I'm ahead. Because I'm on 2 TC and he's on 1, even if he has 2 pawns, because this eventually will expire. right, with fishes, but the 2 TC will like keep its value. So here I scouted and I saw the not second barracks, but the barracks, and I saw no gold. So I was like, okay. So immediately I pull 7 villagers onto the gold, and I pull prelate as well, because if you look above, I'm almost done with the food. So I wanted to age up immediately so I can get a galley here and an archery range. And I actually thought when I saw this arriving now, I was like, oh, I have plenty of time to get galley out. I lost the dock, but kind of worked out. So the funny thing is, he actually only has 3 fishing ships. Now he's making a 4. So we actually were on the same amount of fishing ships, which is very good for me. So I felt like if you look at now, right? Look at his resources. He hasn't even started aging up. So I get a good chapel here. It's like a 7.3 maybe. Chapel. Double wood line, but no food, no gold. And it's not really in the back. It's kind of like to the side-ish, right? So I age up here, I queue up a galley immediately, and the galley does pop, but I do lose the dock, and I go for archer ranges as well. And now this is a strategy that I thought he has not seen, or at least doesn't have a lot of experience playing against it, because in all my practice I've never seen anyone do this. Like go for water and second TC. But because he was so delayed with this pressure, I felt like the second TC is almost like free for me. Like, there's nothing you can do to stop it. So I have an archer range coming. He is just holding his scout and spears here to kill the villager that would come to build a dock because I have a galley. So if I get the villagers across, I will build a dock because I have a galley protecting. So I knew that, and I know that he will want to stop the villager, so I didn't even send one. Because it's one of those things where, you know, you understand that your opponent is a good player, and I'm not gonna try to randomly send a villager in and like sneak it in. Like, I know he's protecting it. So once I got the archer out, I started moving up. I saw he has a second dock here, which I was like, okay, no fishing. My second TC is almost ready. This is really, really good for me. So he kept his spearman on the top side. I have archers. I get in, and now I just needed wood so I can build a second TC. And I'm actually not sure if he even I'm not sure if he even saw the stone. Well, he definitely knows now. So if you look at the map, obviously you want to place your TC on the deer. So this was the most obvious one. And now when he sees the berries here and the gold, like TC here, you know, it's kind of like perfect. So even though he had units here, I sent 8 villagers to build a TC because this is a really good spot, and I don't want to build a TC like defensively, or I don't want to build it there. I want it here because it serves as a defense for my gold as well. So he tries to delay me until his Sipahi arrives, and I actually put a scout here so that I can see Sipahi coming. And meanwhile, I'm micring my 3 archers, I'm sniping spearmen. I see Sipahi coming, and I pulled 5 more villagers from gold to finish the TC ASAP. He tries to deny it. I managed to snipe all the spearmen, and I don't lose a single villager here. So this was like very, very, very good. I lost 2 archers, and he lost 4 spearmen. And obviously I got the TC up. So this was really, really good for me. So I was like, okay. Oh, I forgot to put the fishing ships back to work. They were patrolling, so that was kind of bad. But, there they are. So, from here on out, I was like, okay, I need to scout if he's all-inning or not. That's the next thing. So, my scout goes in again, and this is how important scouting is. You need to know what's happening and what your opponent is going for. So here I'm scouting, and I'm like, okay, he's just making blacksmith now. 1 stable, 1 barracks, and 1 military school, that's not enough to, like, kill me. You know, that's not, I'm like, okay, I'm chilling. Like, if he had, like, 4 archer rangers or something, I would have to make a lot of units. But the fact that he didn't even have his production going and I clicked on stone, so I saw how much he mined. So I was like, wait, is he gonna go second TC? But it's only 250 mined. And then I saw second military school, and I was like, okay, he's just very, he's not late to booming. It's just how, you know, the hybrid map and how this game worked out. So I go for my own little harass here. I'm checking the gold, and I see, okay, he's not aging up anytime soon, because he didn't mine enough gold. So I felt really confident here. I even built a tower, and I was like, I'm just gonna age up. Like, he can't really kill me. He can do some harassment, but he can't really kill me. I do some walls here. I do some harassment here, and I start aging up. And I went with Regnitz, of course, because it's just a better landmark. So right now, I was starting to slowly transition more and more into wood, because I needed to start getting farms out, because I cannot, you know, this food is gonna expire soon, and then only have berries and berries, which is not enough. And I didn't really want to go all the way here, because it's kind of out on the map. So, plan here was get castle and, you know, do the HRE thing, which is get as many relics as possible. And if you look at the economy, I heard that there was like a bug or something. Let me just check something. Oh, apparently there's a bug. Yeah, I can see it now. So villager count is 52 against 39, but he has 39 villagers. So for some reason, his fishing boats are not counted as villagers. So he should be on 48 right now, and I'm on 52. But for some reason, it's not counting Ottoman ships. I don't know why. Yeah, it's like Delhi, but it shouldn't. So I don't know why. So here I aged up, and I went triple stable, because I didn't want to defend. Ottoman is very, very strong because of their ranged units and crossbows and you know, archers and Mehter. So I didn't want to sit back. I wanted to immediately raid, even though he has units around my base, but there's nowhere to really harass. I push him back with knights. I managed to get this relic like for free, basically. And this game like changes. It goes from like 0 to 100 in a span of 2 minutes. Like, not much has happened, and then the game just kind of ends. So I managed to get this relic. He manages to snipe it, but I managed to yoink it later and put it in my dock. I had a scout here, so I could see that he was also going castle. And I also have scouting all this food, which is very nice. I had a knight patrolling from this relic to this relic, so I can kill any sipahis that are patrolling, or catch the monk, which I actually managed to catch here, which is very good. And this is where the game like goes from a 0 to 100. So he attacks here. I snuck out knights that he did not see. I don't know if he saw or not, but he didn't react to them. So he attacks here, and I was like, oh, this is really good for me, because I see his army, and even though I don't have a lot here, 2 knights can defend this easily, right? Like, these are just Sipahi. So I killed his imam here. I have 2 knights coming in here to the gold, which I have vision of. And I had, what is this? 5 knights and 2 horsemen from this side. So the good thing is, and the bad thing is for him, that actually all his food is behind his base. Which is good, because it makes it easier to defend, but it's also bad because I know exactly where to raid. Now, some people ask me, like, why didn't he just wall to prevent the raids? He is on a very big clock here. He needs to win the game very soon, because I've been on 2 TC for a very long time. And even if I get 2 relics and he gets 3, I'm super far ahead, and I'm getting more and more ahead. So right now the clock is ticking for him. He has to do something in order to win the game, right? So if he made walls, he would just delay his push, and he would just have even less units. So making a wall delays the game and just gives me bigger lead. It doesn't really benefit him in any way. So I go for the raid here, I get 0 kills, and then this is 15 idle, and then he idles wood villagers, and then I arrive at the gold, and they kind of get sandwiched and blocked off here, and I go from 0 kills to 7. And at this point, at this level, the game's already over. The fact that I'm on 2 TC and he is on 1, and I'm taking the relics and I'm raiding, the game is very, very bad for me, right? So because of that, I knew I need to defend. So I already had barracks thrown down, and now I'm just massing spears because he has a lot of horsemen and he has some spearmen, right? So the best thing to make against that is men-at-arms or spearmen, but men-at-arms are a bit more expensive. So I just go pure spearmen. I start walling because I want to have a kind of like a channeled fight where he's not running around. In the meanwhile, I didn't lose any of the knights, so I do more raiding. He loses more villagers. Meanwhile, he tried to like raid or engage at the same time. And right now, because I know he's gonna go for the push, I'm just trying to make any unit. So I'm making like crossbows, I'm making spearmen. I do another little bit of harassment here. And yeah, you can see I killed 22 workers. So I knew like, okay, this game is super over. I just have to survive. Like that's the only thing I gotta do. Just don't die. Doesn't matter if I lose this TC. It's irrelevant. I just need to survive. So in a moment, I will actually start making a Landsknecht, because I looked at this army and I was like, he's got no ranged units. These are all melee units. My gold spawns were a bit funny this game. So my first gold is here, my second gold is here, my third gold is here. And then the other gold that I have is the big gold on the right side. So I was like, oh god, that's not good. So here he's destroying stuff. I'm just trying to buy time, you know, to get as many units out, because I knew my eco is better. So the longer time passes, I'll have more units. I got a mangonel out, and I think the first shot was pretty... Okay, it literally just hit mech. Boom. Doing decent damage, you know, nothing amazing. And here I moved all my spearmen to kill Sipahis, and he kind of just dives my mangonel. Now I did know that he will also have what's it called, mangonel soon, but I forgot to show you this. I think, wait, did I kill it already, or is this the one that I'm gonna kill? I actually can't remember. More raiding. Oh yeah, he's just like bleeding villagers here really badly. And in my base, I just pull the villagers for the rams. I engage with all my prelates, all my spearmen, add +2 ranged armor. So even if I trade poorly, it doesn't really matter, because I'm literally just killing everything. 32 worker kills back in his base. Okay, yeah, so it already happened. I managed to kill the first mangonel that came out with my knights, which was very big, because it didn't require me to build a springald. So I went mangonel into springald, which was pretty big. And yeah, at the back of this, like, I was actually trying to find his villagers, but because I killed most of them, all his villagers remaining were here. So yeah, at this point, like, he's got nothing, you know, like, if you look at his army, it's 11 crossbows, 3 archers. He goes here, mango hits. And yeah, I think now he moves on this side and just gets popped. And my knights are still alive here, doing damage. Yeah, here I have springles to pop the mango. It's a good shot. And here he just gives up. So that was game 1. So obviously this went really well for me, and I was very happy with how the plan worked out. It like worked out exactly what like I wanted and how I imagined it to be. Because of that, I felt like that was a very good game to start the series off, because I don't think he expected me to do that. or maybe he didn't even play against that. So I felt like that was a very good start for me. Now, I think his biggest mistake in the whole series was the fact that he opened with Ottoman. Now, for those that don't know, I talked about this earlier. Ottoman counters Mongols quite hard, and MarineLord and I, the way that maps are drawn, we have a map pool of like 13 maps, but the order of the maps is randomly drawn. So we actually had quite a few hybrid maps in our match. So because he picked Ottoman in the first game, I felt like he gave a lot of his strategy away, because the second map was Canal. And this map, for those that don't know, is another hybrid map. And you basically have this water, the fishes are kind of towards the middle on both sides. And the reason why after the first game I felt really, really good against MarineLord in the series is because he played Ottoman. I knew that the second best civ, or one of the best civs on this map, is English, which English is very, very strong here. Like, English beats Ottoman on this map, but Ottoman beats Mongols on this map. But Mongol beats English, or is favored. It's not like 100% win, but it's favored. So, because he picked Ottoman in game 1, I decided to pick Mongol game 2, and he picked English, which was again the first game. The pick didn't necessarily work out for me. I just came up with a strategy and made it work. But on this map, the drafting worked out really, really well for me, because this is the matchup that I was kind of hunting for, and I got it. So the reason why this matchup is very good for Mongol on hybrid maps is because English goes for a dock, because if they don't go for a dock, I will, and he can't stop it. So he has to go for a dock, but I go for horsemen, and this is the only matchup that Mongol goes stables on hybrid. The reason you go stables is because English has men-at-arms in Dark Age and not spearmen. So because of that, I can basically outrun the men-at-arms. I'm not really looking to fight men-at-arms, because men-at-arms, funnily enough, still kind of beat horsemen. But you can pick them off, if they're alone or whatever, and you can just run around and do damage. So here, I start making horsemen. I rallied into the dock, and he responds with the barracks. I try to make a tower. If the tower was maybe a bit sooner, I could have gotten it up, and that would have been like almost insta GG, but it was a bit late. So right now, again, I can't fight this, so I'm just running around doing damage anywhere I can. And I'm building a tower here. So I'm just trying to kind of harass, and Mongol will usually age up first. You will have a better age up timing. But the difference is, when I age up, I have cavalry and he has infantry. And cavalry is always better because you can harass the opponent. So I built a dock here. I had a dock here. I'm aging up with Silver Tree. I'm double dock and I have tower. I'm still trying to harass wherever I can. He repairs up his dock. Again, I'm just bothering his fishing ships. And at this point, I have the same amount of fishing ships as he does, but I have double dock, cavalry, and a tower. So this game might look like it's even. Oh, he hasn't taken any damage. But this is a very good spot for me. If you look on top, it's almost identical, right? Equal units, equal scouts, equal age up. But this is a very, very, very good spot for me right now. So he actually defended pretty well. I always managed to pick off men-at-arms or do damage, but I actually didn't kill a single man-at-arm or villager. So I thought he defended really well here. I went for galley, upgraded a tower, and then I went for naval arrow slits on this dock, so he cannot fish here. Because on water, if one guy is fishing and the other is not, then the guy that is not fishing is going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, behind this, I went for trade. So not only I had both sides of the water, cavalry that's mobile, but I also went for trade. So even if he shut down one thing, which is, let's say he decides to shut down this, I still have this dock, and I also have the trade going. So this was a very, very good spot for me, like I said. Meanwhile, I'm still running around, and I saw that he's committing to a lot of units right now. He goes for a push, and I make another junk. I have a junk here, and I'm just kind of like making fishing ship here and there, making traders, and I'm just trying to make units at the same time. Now this is the funny thing. So for those that don't know, ships cannot pass here, except fishing ships, transport ships, and explosive ships. So here he goes past the river, and then I had like explosive ship kind of zoning him out a little bit here. He tries to split, and now my archers are out, so he's kind of sandwiched and he has to cross. If he doesn't cross, then I'm just gonna kill everything with archers. So here I get a shot on 4 men-at-arms, which I thought was a pretty good trade. So I just went for it, and eventually I kind of cleaned this up, but men-at-arms are like very, very tanky, so I don't clear it up fully. He kills 2 traders here, but I already made like multiple trips, so that was fine. And then I just redirected all my traders to the bottom one. Or maybe I did it on the next one. Yeah. I clean up the army, and then I redirect on the next one. So here he's trying to break this side. He has a lot of units, and obviously seeing this many units, I know that he is like fully committing to this army. Like he's not getting castle or anything like that. Here I chase, but I actually get chased in the end. And here he had so many units, I was like, I can't really fight this. So I just took my trade here, and I redirected it to the bottom. Now one really good thing here for him that always was game breaking actually, or game changing. Sometimes on this map you spawn with double woodline in your main base. So for those that don't know, you're only supposed to have 1 woodline. But he had 2 woodlines, and this makes a massive difference because the whole point of this map is you have 1 woodline and then you gotta go out all the way there. Look where my villagers are. They're super far out, right? But he had this safe woodline, which is kind of scary, to say the least. So here he goes for the engage. You know, I have archers, does are shooting, or light junks, not does. We're trading out, and again, I have arrow slits, so I can just defend here still. He doesn't have fishing. I do, so I feel pretty good. I'm chopping the wood. I also had all the upgrades, by the way, that I needed. And I didn't know he didn't have eco upgrades, but he just got his first range upgrade. So my eco, like I said, he's a lot better. Here I go for a raid. And this is where it kind of starts going south for him. So here he goes for, he wants to break this dock. Now there's multiple problems. Aeroslit is shooting at the ships. I keep making ships out of it, and I keep putting light junks on the longbows. And then my archers are killing the melee units. So even if he beats my army, there's actually nothing to kill the dock, because he has no melee units almost. So he keeps trading like super inefficiently into this. Like if you look at light junk, it's doing a lot of damage to all those units, and he's just taking a crap ton of damage, right? I do a raid here. I saw that he was on gold a little bit as well. So from this point on, he had a lot of idle time. Like he just idled there, idled there, idled there. Now I go back, and he just starts losing villagers because we're both micring at the same time on this side. And again, you can see he's getting mowed down. I'm full on engaging, and he loses like 7-8 villagers there. I lose the dock, but it's honestly not that big of a deal at this point because I kind of got the value out of it, and he lost a lot of units for it. Meanwhile, I made more production. I started making pastures, so I have food, and I age up. So right now I see his army. So what I decide to do is I know that the moment I age up, he will attack me, right? So what I did is I put my army here and I waited. And I have a longer or I thought I had longer vision, but he actually rebuilt the scout. So I see his army here. I go back. I age up. And then I go back and I go around because this is how it works. He has to attack because he's behind. So he decides to, I don't know if he went for the water. Oh yeah, he went for the water. Meanwhile, back in my base, I'm upgrading my horsemen, I'm upgrading my archers. I cut off the reinforcements here. And like after seeing like his 5 spearmen and 5 longbows, I was like, oh, this is really good. Because at this point, even if I lose all of this, it doesn't matter. Because he's gonna lose all of that. So it's a trade-off. But I still have trade, and I have all my villagers not hurt. So I kill all the spearmen, and now it's just archer, horsemen against a few longbows, and a bunch of villagers. And he taps out. So I was very happy about this game. This is how Mongol vs English should be played on hybrid maps. So this pick worked out, and in general the game went, I would say, pretty clean. I don't think I made too many mistakes. I microed pretty well. He defended really well early on. Like I said, in all my practice games, in this matchup, I always managed to kill a villager or two, maybe set the dock on fire, maybe the tower goes up, I pick off a man-at-arm, but I didn't manage to kill anything there. So even with that, like I said, the matchup is pretty good for Mongol, so I just kind of carried on that advantage onward. So game number 3, this is again the semifinals against MarineLord for Golden League. This is a best of 7. Spoilers, the final result was 4-0. And this is game number 3. So this map is called Woodwall, and it has these big rocks, mountains on both sides, and then there's wood line, basically like quadruple size wood line on the middle, and not much wood behind for either of the players. So the idea is you both chopping same wood and then you fight over it. By the way, sorry for coughing. Like I said, I'm still sick. I'm trying my best. So, right here, what ends up happening is this map is very good for booming and trading. So I figured he will pick China or Abbasid, because he already played English. English is also very good on this map. So I knew he will pick China or Abbasid. So I said, okay, if I pick China, we play China Mirror. I'm fine with that. Like, if we play Boom Game and we're both same Civ, not bad. And the other option is he goes Abbasid. Now, Abbasid has 2 things they can do. Abbasid can go Eco Wing, and then just multiple TCs, which I think favors China, because eventually you will go here and China can build the Imperial Palace landmark, which gives you vision. So if you build it here, you will actually see the other side of the trees. And then what you can do is you can put Nest of Bees here and kill his villagers. So it's really bad for Abbasid. The other option for Abbasid is to go trade. Now, funnily enough, I played, I think it was against Puppy Paw, maybe a day or 2 before the tournament. I think it was Puppy Paw, in a custom game where we played this exact matchup on this exact map, and Puppy Paw went for the trade wing, and I was China. So I knew that this is a possibility, and MarineLord has done trade wing before many times. So right now I'm scouting for it, and I see trade wing coming on the House of Wisdom. So I was like, all right. It's like studying for a test, and then you get the exact question that you studied last, kind of thing, you know? So I was like, okay, let's go. I know what to do. I played this thing yesterday or 2 days ago. I won the game. I know what I'm supposed to do. So, I went for Barbican here because I secure kind of these 3 berries. I block the trade on this side, and I semi-get these berries, right? And I put it with 1 villager because I don't need to rush it. And then my plan was, when you play against the trade, you have to go, you have to attack, you have to go for it. So my plan was to just go 1 TC Song Dynasty, mass Jugunu, and then some Spearmen in order to disrupt the trade. So I'm going to speed up. My Barbican finishes, my Imperial Academy finishes, and from here on out, I'm just, you know, putting workers to use. Look at how much he's getting. 45 food and 181 gold. God damn. He walls off this side. And I go for barracks first because he had some horsemen running around, so I didn't want to take damage. And this is the interesting part. So obviously I know he's trading. So here I try to scout if he's making more markets. So I see no markets here, which is usually where you make them. And then I go in the trade route because I wanted to, because he didn't have markets, I was like, is he even making more traders? So I see 3, which are the original 3 that Abbasid gets. And then I look and I see there are no traders. So I was like, he is not making more. So then I go back to try to see if there's a market. And my thing dies. But I did see the three traders coming back again together. So again, there's no trader that spawned meanwhile. So I realized that he did not make more traders already. But I actually was never in that situation where someone went trade wing but only had 3 traders. Now, his idea behind this, I would assume, is he goes trade wing, he's still getting the value from traders, but the opponent gets debated into attacking sooner, and then you kind of kill yourself by attacking. Because right now he's not actually booming, like he's not making more economy, he's just making pure army. So I think his plan was to go trade wing, not make traders, I attack and I basically kill myself. And then he goes for a trade. So I never played against this, so I thought the correct move is to still attack. He was doing these raids, but he didn't kill any villagers. So I defended that pretty well. And here I go for the push. I got +1/+1 for ranged. My eco is looking good. And even though he went for a trade, I'm actually ahead in villagers because of Song Dynasty right now. He keeps trying to like raid here, but I don't think he kills anything with his horseman whole game. I was pretty on point defending. So right now, I miss micro here few times, and what I missed microed was I would send spears back, and then the horseman would come. Like the horseman would charge back, and you're supposed to aim with your spears so that they brace from like here. So it becomes hard for him to attack. So I didn't have really good micro here. And I kind of get mowed down pretty badly. And I was like, uh-oh. This is not good. But then I was like, well, he didn't make more traders. Like, if he made more traders and he's got like 10 now, and this happened, the game's over, right? But because he didn't make more traders, I was like, I mean, fucking make more units and go again, you know? So I kept making units. Now, with Jugunu, when you play this style, if you just keep collecting your resources and you keep growing your economy because of the Song Dynasty, you will actually be able to age up while fully producing units. Look at that. I'm fully producing Jugunu and I'm almost aged up. So now he went for markets because of the exact thing I said earlier. He felt like, okay, I'm gonna overwhelm the push and then build the markets, which the idea was really good. But I don't think he expected the age up. So the age up comes online and I immediately queue up an upgrade and I immediately supervise it, and then I supervise my blacksmith for the other 2 upgrades as well. And now these bad boys go from Chad to Omega Chad. Look at that. They got 1 more damage. Now that might not seem like a big deal, but oh boy it is. So I go for another push, and this is the funny part. He has way more units, but I have castle units. I didn't get the veteran spearmen, even though I had 12 spearmen, because I'm already making palace guards. I'm upgrading the balanced projectiles. Probably should have waited for this, but because he started running, I thought he is aging up as well. So I was like, oh, he's about to age up, so I should push. So here we start fighting, and the fight kind of goes back and forth. The horsemen all get mowed down. He does a raid here, but doesn't kill anything. And I obviously start trading a lot better, even though I had less units. And this is when the palace guards start arriving, and like, you can see they are tanking a shit ton. So I made more barracks here, 2 more. So I'm just making palace guards Zugunu right now. And I see the units are keep streaming in, like keep coming. So I'm just spamming my units because I need to break the trade. If you don't break the trade, you lose the game. So here he kind of defends, but not really. Because now the palace guards are coming like more and more. I'm producing like 3 at a time basically. And even though palace guards don't have as much armor as men-at-arms, they have 5 armor with +2, which is pretty good. So here he goes in, and he starts getting mowed down. And now there's kind of too many palace guards. I see the markets, so I know he's making more traders. So he's like committing to this. And I just rally units and decide to kind of go for it. Now, the one good thing that I had going for me is I knew that I have more food. Why? Because this food for him was basically unavailable because it's so forward, like open. He can't get this. Not only that, I think these 2 berries, or maybe one of these berries, one of these 4, is actually his. But he walled off here, so he can't get it. So he was running out of food here. He was running out of deer. So the only food source he has is this one and this one. And I had this berry patch. I think I just finished with the deer here. I had deer here that I just started. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 berry patches there. So I was chilling on food, and also the units that I'm making are a lot cheaper than his because he's making horsemen. So here I just keep pushing because I was worried the age up might be coming at any point. And the moment I heard the age up, I just kind of went for it. So here he ages up. I knew that deer were here, so I sent a few palace guards there. And I think I sent a few palace guards this way to kill like workers on this side. And then I attacked into the wood line because, you know, I don't want to wait for his upgrades to finish. So I just go in. He went military wing and boot camp. He picked it up immediately. Like, I think in general he played pretty well this game. I don't think he made any like big mistakes necessarily. Like his micro was pretty good. But yeah. So here I sent 2 palace guards on top, and they start mowing down the villagers. I find the traders, so I just decide to go for them. And meanwhile, he's idling all his wood villagers. So even though he's kind of winning this battle, like my line of units is just never ending, and I have Nest of Bees coming, and he has no food income right now. Like, that's it. This is the only food he has right here. So he just decides to tap out. Was it 2 barracks? No, it was 3 barracks. I feel that trade can be good on this map, but I think against China it's pretty rough. And then we had the last game against MarineLord, which was the 4th game. And I felt obviously pretty good, leading 3-0. And the 4th map was the Pit. Now, he has played a lot of Rus on this map, and I think Rus is actually pretty decent against Delhi. I didn't want to throw away some of the other civs for a chance to like win the tournament right here and there, like right in this game. So I said, okay, I know he plays Rus on this map. I know he's practiced this matchup, but I practiced Delhi as well, obviously. So I just decided, okay, maybe you know, it's not like a favorable matchup for me, but I'll just go with it, and then I have other plans for other games. And he makes a pretty... I mean, I say it's a mistake, but this is what happens. So, look at his 2 scouts and look at my 2 scouts. Okay? He sees nothing. So he saw my scout and goes back. Which there's 2 options. You either see the enemy scouts and you go through, or you go back. Okay? There's no other way. Like, that's what you do. So on this side, I decide to go through. And on this side, we both decide to go back. Now, why is this a bad decision? It's not really bad, it's just unfortunate. If you look at his vision here, and if you look at his vision here, he missed both big deer packs. His big deer pack was here, my deer pack, and the small pack was here. So he missed both of those. Now, I knew that this deer pack was here, because the scout went out this way and I saw the deer. So, at least I think I did. Let me check. What is it? Yeah, you can see that this was already revealed prior, this deer. So, I went back here because I knew my deer pack was on this side, and obviously there's no reason for me to pull back on this side because the deer are here. So I decided to go through on his side, and I managed to find his big deer pack. Now, the reason why I'm explaining this in so much detail is his bounty was atrocious, and I knew this in the game. I've killed 2 big deer packs, and then I killed small deer pack, and then I killed another small deer pack. So the only bounty he has gotten from deer were 2 small deer packs, which is equal to 6, and I've killed 20 deer. And then, that wasn't over. He started harassing my lumber camp with his scouts, and I managed to pick off like 4 or 5 more wolves, including 1 wolf here and 1 wolf here and here. So I don't know if he didn't keep track of the wolves or he missed them or what happened, but if we look at his bounty, it's 85. Guys, he didn't reach 100 bounty. Like, in general, in a one-on-one game, getting 250 is normal. Because 250 is the tier 2, which increases your villager gather rate by 10%. Now, he didn't even get the tier 1, which is really bad. Really, really bad. And this happens very rarely, especially at this level, where the Rus gets this bad bounty. Now, again, he was just here and he missed this wolf. So, I managed to find this wolf after and kill it. So because of this, he had to skip on wheelbarrow because he couldn't age up otherwise. He has no gold, right? I mean, he has gold, but if he gets wheelbarrow, he won't have it. And he went 3 scouts and I went 2. I think that, you know, you can say that this was unlucky, but at the same time, you cannot send your scouts to the other side until you've seen your big deer pack. If he saw the big deer pack here, went back, and then went in with the other scout, that's fine. But the fact that he didn't know where his big deer pack was and he decided to do the trade was very risky. And even when it is risky and when you do it, it doesn't turn out this bad. So it's not, like I said, it's not really like he played it bad. It's just he chose a riskier option and it just did not pay off. Like, look, I find more wolves here. Like, he just didn't clear the map fully, and then he starts harassing my lumber camp, which is kind of weird. So yeah, this start was really bad for him. But after this, I thought he played, like, micro-wise, he played really well. but economically he was behind. This was probably my worst game. Performance-wise, I don't mean like start-wise, this was a great start for Delhi, for me, but performance-wise, like how well I played, I feel like this is probably my worst game. And you'll see why. So, yeah, here he goes for a boar. So I had a scout here. So I knew no gold and no stone. So I knew no second TC, so he's making units. And then the second scout was here, and I see villagers going for, obviously, the boar, right? So I insta send my horseman, and he just cancels. And again, this is like, it's going from bad to worse kind of thing. Now the villagers are running back, they're idling. It's just not a good spot to be in. And also he kept making the militia, but I kept dealing with it quite well. So militia actually didn't do anything, which you'll see now. He goes for it, I saved the villager, and then I just put 2 scholars, and the scholars just out-healed damage. So the militia didn't do any damage the whole game. So I managed to deny the boar, which was pretty big. You can see his food is kind of steering a little bit. Here I tried to deny this, but it did not work out. And my general plan, I went with Dome of Faith, by the way. The meta right now with Delhi is Tower of Victory, but I didn't want to actually fight in Feudal. I mean, if I knew that I'm going to have this kind of start, like with the denying boar and bounty, I would probably go Tower of Victory and try to end the game, but obviously I didn't know that in advance. So I decided to go Dome of Faith, get the sacred sites, and then age up and go like mass knights to try to fight him. So here I'm capturing the sacred sites. I get 2, and I think I get the 3rd one as well. And my gold trickle kind of starts happening already. Now it's a bunch of capping and decapping. Now I could have pushed here, which I didn't realize. I thought he had more army, but this is like his whole army, and I was kind of playing scared because I was like, well, I have 3 sacred sites, I don't want to throw it, you know? So I was kind of playing a bit scared, but I should have probably been more aggressive here. There was a lot of there was a lot of struggling walling off this game. Let's just say that. I kept trying to fucking wall this off, and this off, and this off like 4 times. And he kept denying it. So yeah, this was a bad start for him, but I feel like micro-wise, he played pretty well this game. So here he's doing some raiding. And right now he hasn't actually killed too many villagers. But later on, he will get quite a few worker kills. Nice. So here I managed to wall this off. I captured Sacred Site again. I captured this. And look at these idiot archers. They finished the wall there, but they didn't wall this side. So, because in my mind, I sent the 2 archers to build. So they built, but they didn't finish this side. So I'm just like, oh my god. I see his whole army here. And I had reinforcements. So I decided to go for a dive on the boar. And I managed to kill all 8 workers, which was pretty good damage. Here we kind of fight a little bit back and forth, and I have way more units. But I do think he microed better this game, to be fair. And he killed some villagers on my woodline here, so it's like 8 worker kills for me. He killed 11. Then he did some good raids here. This reminds me of the first game, the Atri versus Ottoman. Except he's killing all my villagers now. Look at that, 19. Then I try to wall again. And I fucking can't wall again. Okay, so here I thought I'm about to mow this down. Like, I was like, oh, he about to lose his whole army. Oh, nope. Because 3 more knights arrive from this side. Well, actually 4. And I actually lose this fight pretty bad. And I was like, oh god. And I was like, oh god, did I just throw the game? So here I still got the 3 sacred sites. I start producing men-at-arms, and because he's been raiding my wood villagers so much, I actually didn't have production. I only had 1 stable, 1 barracks. So I kind of started falling apart because all the re-walling kind of messed me up, because I kept sending stuff to re-wall and the stuff was just not re-walled. So because he can't really push into my TC, I decided to do a counter raid. And I did know that he put villagers inside, but even if he put villagers inside and I'm losing units, it doesn't matter because he's not gathering food. So it's kind of like I'm losing units, but he's also losing units because he's not producing. So here he goes for the dive, and this is where my lancers start coming out. My men-at-arms start coming out as well. And obviously he has feudal knights, I have castle, you know, knights, lancers, whatever you want. Like, look at this. Literally, this wall is the bane of my existence in this game. But the funny thing is I actually get the wall, splitting his archers and knights. I clean up on this side, because this is also now fully walled. And I attack the middle archers with knight and men-at-arms. And also there was another raid on this food line, so he decides to step out. When I hit castle, you only really have 2 options, and there's no good one in that situation. So option number 1 is you stop making units and he also tries to go castle. If he does that, then I will simply take all the relics and sacred sites and I'm gonna get stone for keeps. So that wouldn't work really. It would probably be the worst out of the 2. And that's the first option. And then the second option is to the second option is to just simply continue massing units, and you hope to like pick off prelates, to pick off villagers, and kind of snowball it from then on out. Which in that case, in that specific game, you know, did not work out. So with that being said, those were the games against MarineLord in the semifinals. These were the games that we just watched, and that was the semifinals. In the other semifinals, Lucifer and Vortex, they're brothers for those that don't know, they faced off, and Lucifer managed to come out on top, winning that one 4-2. That series was quick as hell. Like MarineLord and my series was quick, but it was a 4-0. That one was a 4-2, and I think it was actually same duration played. So yeah, that was a fast series. They have a very similar playstyle, obviously, because they do practice together. And like I said, oh yeah, the third place match, MarineLord did end up beating Vortex 2-1. And then in the grand finals, spoilers, I'm going to cover this in the next video for you guys on YouTube and tomorrow on Twitch for you guys on Twitch. But I did manage to beat Lucifer 5-3 after I was down 3-1. And managed to beat the Chimpion. And I won 17,000 bucks. So that's very nice. If you're watching this on YouTube, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something new. I hope you enjoyed these reviews. For you guys on YouTube, I have been irregular with YouTube uploads. Like I said, I have bronchitis and I wasn't streaming too much, and even when I did, I couldn't talk much. Now with all this coughing, I'm actually feeling good compared to how I was. So in the upcoming days, weeks, I will have more content. I'm gonna have guides for you guys. I promise a hybrid map guide will come, or a water map guide, however you want to call it. There's a lot of tournaments that I'll be playing. EGC TV announced the new tournament that's going to start in a few weeks. I don't know the exact dates. Outback Octagon with Aussie Drongo is happening, which is a Nomad free-for-all tournament. There's the 2v2 tournament that I'm playing with MarineLord. MarineLord and I are playing in the team together, I mean. And then there's also 1 or 2 more tournaments that I'm just going to be playing that, you know, why not? So, I will be streaming a lot more once again because I am done with tournaments. I have streamed less sometimes. You know, maybe I've played only custom games because I had to because of the tournament maps. But that is the plan. So, yeah. If you're watching this on YouTube, check me out on Twitch. I am probably live right now. Hopefully not sick anymore. Thank you. Have a great one. If you're watching on Twitch, let's keep going.